Chapter 8. The Ong's Hat project, it's often cited as the first, proto-ARG. How accurate do you feel that is? And, what was that like for you seeing other ARGs come about?
Okay, so Majestic, which was a project that was run by EA, Electronic Arts, reached out to me and said they were doing an ARG, which I was like, what? But I checked it out and I got the beta software, which was literally just not even an interface. It was just a series of programs that you downloaded. And well, they had one unified interface where you downloaded and you installed these little applications. And it was a chat bot, or not, I'm sorry, not a chat bot, a chat app. Mm-hmm. It was like their own branded chat app. And then you put in your phone number. And so you then set yourself up to be texted and called.
Okay.
And put in your email address, and then you started getting emails from characters in the game. And it really was an ARG.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so in joining the EA Majestic beta team, I met other people who told me, dude, we know what you do, what you did, and we were influenced, and this is what we're doing.
Okay.
So it turned out to be people like Dave Cebulski.
Yeah.
And Steve Peters and all these people that went on to become the early progenitors of ARG.
Yeah.
So and Dave had written an ARG called Chasing the Wish, and he asked me if I'd read it, and I did, and I was like, oh, this starts in Ong's Hat. And he's like, yeah, this is like in my homage, like it starts in Ong's Hat and then it goes this other direction. I'm like, cool, dude. He's like, you're okay with that? I'm like, absolutely, I'm okay with it. Like, I'll even help you out.
Yeah.
And so we all got to know each other. Everybody was doing their own grassroots games. And that's when I discovered that ARG was this underground thing that was starting to happen where people were building games like what I tried to build. Yeah. And I had built less, actually, but just I just gotten tired of trying to do it with too many conspiracy theories in the group.
Yeah.
And so they gave me a new breath of life, and I was watching what they were doing. And they were appealing to gaming community people. And so it was sanity. I'm like,
yeah. Well, okay. Relatively.
Yeah. I'm like, my God, this can actually be done. You have to keep the crazies out of it. But if you do this with sane people, it actually works.
Yeah. People who have signed up for play rather than finding the truth that's going to free them from their fucking miserable life
or whatever.
Or whatever.
Don't ask me to think like a crazy person. I don't know what motivates those people. And I don't want to know. If I ever start saying I understand, then just double tap me to the back of the head. It's over. But so they picked it up. Dave approached me about writing a book, which I helped him do. I edited it and I contributed to it. It was the first book about the history of ARGs and how to build an ARG. It's called This Is Not a Game.
Hell yeah.
And so that's when the TNAG principle, Dave and I talked about it a lot, and he's like, we really have to stress this because they noticed it on Unfiction that a couple of the people from the Ong's Hat milieu had started to come over to Unfiction and try to drag their conspiracy theory stuff with them. Yeah. And people kind of shut them down, which was great. They were outnumbered on those forums.
Yeah.
And so they got it shut down pretty quickly. But everybody was like, we need to really stress the TNAG thing.
Yeah. And explain what that means in principle.
It means this is not a game. Yeah. It means you when you're in game, you don't talk about the fact that you're in game.
No metagaming.
So, the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. Yeah. Literally. That's what it's about. So it's we all know that we have this agreement, this unspoken agreement that we're all playing a game. And we don't talk about in-game. We don't talk about the fact that we're playing a game because that ruins, that breaks the fourth wall. Yeah. But we also know that if anybody shows up, you take them to the side, out of game, and you say, clearly, you don't understand that this is a game. And everybody that's playing this understands this is a game, but you don't.
Right.
So if you don't understand that this is a game, now you know, and you can either play the game and keep everything in game, or you can leave.
Right.
And so like several times people had to be shown the door at Unfiction because they clearly were there thinking like, oh my God, I've discovered the next new conspiracy. And that's not what this was about.
Right.
So from observing that, I learned a couple of things. One, that it's possible to do what I wanted to do. Other people had begun to do it. You just had to vet your audience, basically.
Yeah.
Which I didn't do before. I didn't know that I had to do it, but now I knew. They were doing it successfully. And then also, the one thing that probably should have been happening on the forum that we had is there are people that should have been shown the door.
Right.
Bad behavior should not have been tolerated.
Right.
And the people in the Unfiction and the Collected Detective Forum did not tolerate bad behavior and did not worry about the fact that they would show people the door and that these people were going to run around and say, they're denying me my freedom of speech. Like, fuck off.
Right.
It's like, you're not here trying to exhibit and practice freedom of speech. You're here to be a griefer.
Yeah.
Or you're here because you believe this. You bought into this conspiracy theory stuff, and like, this is not what this is for. There are other forums all over the internet where you can practice this thinking.
Yeah, you can go to Godlike Productions.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and there was like a bunch of them back then. And so those people can like just fuck off.
Yeah.
And so I felt vindicated, and I felt like I'd found my people.
Hell yeah.
People understood that it was an art form, like all the things that I had problems with getting through and got shouted down on the forum, on Denny's forum. I actually discovered that I was not doing anything wrong. I just had the wrong people. Yeah. So, and partly I will take responsibility for that because I did get it in front of the wrong people, getting it in front of people in conspiracy forums and getting it in front of people through the Art Bell show. So that's on me. I completely own that. But now I saw that like it didn't have to like go down in flames. I just had to like pivot and move it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so I started working very diligently with the ARG community, and I started developing and working with those people, and it was a joy.
Yeah. It sounds fun as hell.
Yeah, it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And then Hollywood got their sights on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it pretty quickly became a marketing gimmick that was used for launching movie premieres and games. Like pretty quickly. Very quickly. Like within 2 years. So you've got I Love Bees.
Yeah.
Which was used to launch Halo.
Yep.
And then there's a bunch of people like started approaching Dave and I and other people like, could you do that thing for us? Like, they didn't even yet know what to call it, but they did pretty soon because there was a marketing bulletin that used to come out every year, and it was about what's happening in gaming and toy manufacturing and like all this kind of stuff. Was like for the teen and tween market, as they called it.
Right.
And so like they contacted me and they said, that thing that you're working on with Cebulski, like, can we get a bunch of those? Can we buy a bunch of those? And we want to send it out with the marketing report, like the next new thing, ARG. And Dave and I talked about it and we're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we sold them a couple boxes of the books, and it like went out with, every major marketing company in the world, like got a copy of this report. Like,
right.
The Sony PlayStation people, the Xbox people, like all those kind of people, and anybody who was wanting to enter that marina, independent movie people that did horror films and cartoons, and like all those people got the book.
Yeah.
And then our phones started ringing off the hook, which was cool. Like, it was nice to like be recognized, be paid, to work with like sane people and have people show up and appreciate what you were doing. A lot of them let me do live action stuff, which I adore doing because I'm a theater geek at heart.
Yeah.
And so Dave and I got to do some stuff where like there was actual live action show up at this time in this place and This
cool.
character being me will meet you and, give you the clues or tell you the next step, or like it was fun. So we got a couple of years out of that. And but in a way I was disappointed that the art form never got to mature
as an art form
before it got picked up and commercialized so quickly. It was so quick.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't have time to think about it. And I was like, well, they're going to pick it up and commercialize it, but we can still develop it as an independent art form. And that kind of never happened.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's a hard thing to pull off, and like for people to do independently. I know there have been, but
there has since then, and there's been a resurgence of ARG development, grassroots stuff.
Yeah.
So that's made me happy that actually happened. And I think what really needed to happen was the commercial people got their sights on it. They develop, as they always do. They jump on, they promote the hell out of it, they develop the hell out of it, and then they move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And that's what allows you to then go back and revisit it and then fully develop it as an independent thing. You kind of get them off your back in a way.
Yeah.
Them coming in and pouring money into it, in fact, gave us a lot of the means to come up with new tools, come up with methodology, come up with a lot of things that probably would have taken longer if we'd done it independently.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the independent film industry when Tarantino made Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I was working in independent film back then. Previous to Pulp Fiction, there was like all this independent activity, but it was like truly independent. Like,
right.
I was working, as a production designer for people that were funding films on credit cards.
Yeah.
Robert Townsend put out a movie called Hollywood Shuffle, which he basically took out a bunch of subprime loans and credit cards and funded that thing. It was a fantastic film.
Hell yeah.
And he ended up making a ton of money at the box office because nobody would fund it.
Yeah.
So he funded it himself any way he could. He did what any good director is supposed to do. If you listen to our man Werner Herzog, he said, "I don't care if you have to steal a camera to make the movie. Steal the camera." and I'm down with that. And so that's what Townsend did. And so Townsend did his thing. And everybody went, whoa, this guy made $7 million on something he spent $200,000 on.
Yeah.
And then Pulp Fiction, same thing. And then the studios are like, ooh, independent film. And all of a sudden, independent film meant something for $10 million that was being funded by Lionsgate.
Yeah.
And there was some good films that came out of that era, Like,
for sure.
Fight Club came out of that era. Most people don't remember or realize that The Matrix was not a heavily funded movie and it didn't get a lot of promotion. It came out almost as a second run, and then the fans picked it up and went, "Oh my god!" And then all of a sudden the studio was like, "Oh, well, we need like 2 more. Here's a bunch of money." It's like, but before that, it was like Keanu Reeves was like a done for guy. He was like, everybody was like Bill and Ted. He was like, nobody even recognized him as an actor at all.
Yeah.
It was like he was as far as they were concerned, he was washed up. And like nobody else in that movie, like who else can you think of? I mean, like Fishburne, like was kind of not really at the top of his game before that. Like he'd done Apocalypse Now and he'd done a few things, but he was like not
Pee-wee's Playhouse,
Yeah, exactly. But he was not like he was not the force du jour that he is now.
Right.
And all the other people were kind of like, if you even heard of them at all, you barely heard of them.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That just kind of happened. And so, and those were some of the people that started calling us were like, like people doing like weird, like independent horror films. We're like, can you do an ARG tie-in thing? Like everybody like kind of equated it to, oh God, why am I blanking on the name of that movie? The Blair Witch.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's like, how Blair Witch did that thing? It's like, yeah, of course I do. And so everybody was like, all of a sudden, like excited. And ARGs were part of that. Like the independent film thing was happening again. Like Hollywood had their 70s, and you had like this independent, like renaissance, not even a renaissance. They had this independent thing happening with Dennis Hopper and all those people in the 70s. 60s and 70s, and then it just kind of like independent film kind of died out, and then all of a sudden it came back with like Robert Townsend and Tarantino, and then the studios were paying attention and they're like, oh, we need to be paying attention to these non-tentpole independent things, and so we're going to give some money to that, and so independent became not so independent.
Same thing with like like Sub Pop Records and stuff, like
exactly
this like middle ground.
Exactly. Yeah, when like all that stuff that was happening in the underground in the record industry in the 80s, suddenly like they started paying attention to it in the 90s. But in the 80s, the record industry had like all these people that were like making their own records in their bedroom on Tascam, Porta Studio 4s.
Mm-hmm.
Or 41 Studio 4 and doing all this 4-track stuff and 4-track collapse stuff and like some great stuff,
Oh yeah.
But it was and you had like little record labels like Alternative Tentacles, which was started by the Dead Kennedys.
Word.
And you had SST Records, which was basically Black Flag. And you had people like that doing all their stuff, and then you had like people like Alex Cox doing independent film, Repo Man. And that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, the biggies finally got their sights on that and on us at the same time. It was like ARG was the internet version of independent film.
Yeah.
And so they started paying attention to us.
It's interesting because like I was going to say earlier, like to really, when you mentioned like designing methodologies and stuff, like there's a part of creating an ARG that you're designing an experiment. Like it is a science experiment in a way, Yeah,
it is that, and then it's also and the definition has to keep expanding and pivoting.
Sure.
To keep up with the movement of the art form, but somebody came up with experience design.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was like in the early 2000s when somebody like landed on that terminology.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that defines it. Yeah, that's definitely what we're doing. We're designing an experience, and it's not limited to any one kind of media.
Right.
It can have several types of media, and it probably should.
Yeah, because that's an experience.
And so that's what EA was trying to do with Majestic. They were like, this thing will follow you around.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm like, well, cool. That's exactly what I was trying to do. And then, unfortunately, because of the timing, 9/11 happened. And there was things and so there's two stories that run around the internet. So I'm going to tell you the story that the world knows, and then I'm going to tell you the story we were told as insider people working on the game.
Okay.
The story that the world was told is that not enough people signed up for the game. It wasn't doing well enough, and they decided to shut it down.
Okay.
Not what we were told. What we were told is 9/11 happened, and I happen to know this was true. The next couple of chapters that were coming out in Majestic, because it already had launched.
Yeah.
The next couple of chapters that were coming out in Majestic was about a group of patriot-type people, that were blowing up buildings.
Oh, shit.
And I don't know if you remember 9/11.
Oh, very, very well.
But there was like the time period right after 9/11 where like the big chill hit.
Yeah.
You couldn't say or do anything. Like all of a sudden, you weren't supposed to criticize the government.
Right.
You definitely weren't supposed to do things like having terrorists blow up buildings.
Right.
You just like none of this stuff was kosher. You weren't supposed to do this. Or this is not the time for this, And so Majestic, I think EA like made the right decision. Like we can't do this. We're just gonna shut it down because it would cost too much money to retool all these scenes. They had actually shot footage, like they had done really nice video pieces that were gonna run, where the terrorists were doing like these pirate broadcasts, and
Yeah.
it was gonna be cool, but unfortunately the timing was just off. And they told us, like, we're not going to do this. Like, you understand we can't do this. And I understand.
Yeah.
But then what they told the world was, oh, we decided to shut it down because it just wasn't generating the numbers we thought it was going to generate. And I know that was wrong, but also I guess I get why they said that, why they didn't say the truth. I guess. I mean, I really don't understand personally why they didn't, but I guess from a business perspective, maybe they didn't need to. They didn't want to.
Anticipating like backlash, because if it was actually doing pretty well, they might have gotten like had to deal with like a lot of backlash from players. Like, no, yeah,
no, exactly, yeah. So, but it was cool. It gave us all a place to meet.
Yeah.
All these people that went on to do some of the, like some of the biggest independent games out of the ARG community, like Chasing the Wish. And like the stuff that Steve went on and did, and all the stuff that Dave went on and did. Like it gave us a place to meet. So we had a community. We all knew each other, and we had other people to talk to and bounce our ideas off of. So that part of it, it was a success in bringing us together, because I'd never heard any of this stuff until then. I didn't know there was an underground community building these kind of games.
Because you weren't really part of the gaming scene.
No, I wasn't.
And proto ARG is always like, it is correct, but also Ong's Hat has never struck me as, well, it's an infinite game, but it's not a puzzle game. It's not a...
Right.
Yeah. And it much more of a, like, I've always thought a living book is a perfect term for it.
But people like Dave recognized what it was.
Yeah.
And then went on to develop it further with like Chasing the Wish.
Yeah, so that must have been really cool to meet up with those people, the people that were part of the gaming community, and see that. I can imagine that being super cool.
Yeah, these people came out of like a hardcore gaming background.
Yeah. And
they realized that the internet was this thing that would allow them to develop a new type of game. And a lot of them came from board games, LARPing, like video games, like all these different kind of backgrounds.
Yeah. So
they were just gaming people. They didn't really care what it was as long as it was a game.
As long as it was a good game.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like other narrative projects you were involved in, I've heard you talk about one that I remember stumbling upon very, very well in middle school, I believe it was. Oh. Yeah, you apparently you were involved with the legend of the notorious time traveler John Titor.
Yeah.
Titor?
Well, we said Teeter, but there's other people that weren't involved in it that say Titer. So like whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
He wasn't a real guy anyway.
Exactly. And this is weird how this happened. So a couple of people I know in the entertainment industry saw what I did with Ong's Hat and said, we want to do something like that. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? And they said, we want to do something about time travel. I'm like, okay, can do. And then I don't remember who brought it up. Maybe me, because I was the Art Bell head, but maybe not. But the conversation looped around to it being said by somebody that Art Bell, when he does his call-in shows, he did call-ins in every show, but he did some shows where he just did call-ins. Like he didn't have a guest.
Yeah.
He just said open lines tonight, and west of the Rockies line is being reserved for time travelers, and east of the Rockies is being reserved for somebody who thinks that they're the Antichrist. Like he would just come up with these weird things and tell people like that if you're one of these people that this is called this specific number out of the 5 or 10 numbers that he had, and he would like talk to these people and entertain them, and treat them somewhat seriously.
Yeah,
and like let them tell their story. And the time traveler thing was something he was really, really into. Art was really into time travelers.
It's really fun.
He also would talk to people on I can't remember, he had a couple of forums over the years, but I think it might have been artbell.com. But anyway, there was a forum that he would talk on. He would be on the forums, and he would talk on the forums to people, and there would be people telling him that I'm a time traveler, and he would talk to them as if they were.
Yeah.
And so somebody in my group of friends said, like, let's give him the time traveler he's looking for.
Yeah.
And so I kind of I sat down and I started building a character profile of what this time traveler would be like and what it might be like in the time that he lived in. And, I think it was John Titor was a tip of the hat to John Connor.
Yeah.
From the Terminator movie.
Yep.
And so, basically, I didn't really have a lot to do with it other than, just giving advice.
Okay.
But somebody in the group, there was 2 people in the group that were, posting on the forums and talking to people, and it was like it went on for a little while. And it's hard for me to remember exactly because it's been so long ago. But I think around 2001, that project got folded as far as like whether my friends were actually doing it.
Okay.
They stopped doing it. But other people, we don't know who, continued to post on the forums.
Yeah.
As this person. And there may be several people that were doing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It went on and on and on and on. It goes on to this day. There's people to this day that swear to God that John Titor was a real person.
Yeah. To this day. I like you see it from time to time.
Yeah. And will like argue online in a nasty way sometimes, like just get really defensive.
Yeah.
About the fact that like, well, no, what he said is going to come true. And it's like, this is not prophecy, dude. This was fiction. Hello.
Yeah, this is someone fucking around on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
It took on its own momentum.
Yeah.
I did earlier this year, I think. A crew flew down from Toronto, Canada, and I spent all day in front of a camera with them, just kind of telling the same story I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And they're going to do a feature film about who was John Titor.
No shit.
Yeah. And apparently, according to them, they want to. They don't want to say we think it's this person or these people.
Sure.
They're going to just kind of leave it as like an open-ended thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, do what you want.
Yeah.
So there was a guy and his brother, I think, in Florida that like picked it up and tried to commercialize it. They sold books and yeah. Larry Haber, I want to say his name was.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And he turned out to be an entertainment attorney.
Okay.
So not surprising.
Yeah.
That he would try to develop this because I don't think I've ever met an entertainment attorney that I liked. I mean, they're attorneys. How could I like them? But on top of it, they're like that other. The bottom of the pile is probably ambulance chasers, and right above them is entertainment attorneys.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I don't want to say too much about that. Other than I mean, I didn't have a lot to do with it. Other than I came up with ideas.
You're just like a consultant on it.
Yeah, there was one guy who actually was a prop builder who built the time device that was in the pictures.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then there was even a nod to the Back to the Future because he was talking about the car that was being used for the time travel device. Yeah. I mean, it was all right there in front of everybody if they wanted to see it.
Yeah, it's laid on pretty thick.
Yeah, this is a bunch of nods to movies about time travel.
Yeah.
Hello.
No, man, that's predictive programming.
You're right. No, exactly. And like you just have to throw up your hands and walk away, which I did.
Yeah.
And then I saw people trying to commercialize it. And the one thing we said about this project was that it would be something that we would put into the ether and it would kind of live as a legend and we would never try to commercialize it. This is not something we were doing to make a movie, write books, sell comics, any of that stuff. And then there's these people from Florida or somewhere that were trying to commercialize it. And that annoyed me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I spoke up. I talked to my friends. I'm like, do you want to speak up? They're like, we have careers. I'm like, okay. And we saw what happened to you. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'm going to speak up. I'm going to tell people at the very least that this is not real. Like,
yeah.
Because there were people writing books that like John Titor is all real and here's the prophecies. And I'm like,
oh God,
no. And so all I did was speak my mind and say like that I should even have to explain this is ridiculous. But here it goes. John Titor was not a real person. He definitely wasn't a time traveler. And it was a project, and that's what I said. And boy, did I just like get hammered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like hate mail and people like doing YouTube videos calling me a pathological liar and a pathetic narcissist. Like all this nasty stuff.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and like at one point, a bunch of people invaded my LinkedIn profile and like started leaving like nasty comments. And I'm like,
oh my God,
what the hell? So I just kind of backed off. I'm like, okay, you know what? If you guys want to believe this, I've said what I had to say. Believe it if you want to. If you want to follow somebody that's telling you this is all real, you're an idiot, but go ahead.
Yeah, fuck it.
What can I do for you? Nothing. I tried to throw you a lifeline, but I shouldn't even have to.
No.
You know?
No, it's crazy, man. Like I remember there was one a couple years ago, like some dude on Reddit went by the username like Throwawalian or something. He had like some alien contact story or whatever. And like there was a prophecy about a specific date, and like no one could believe it. People, you know, a lot of people didn't believe it was real. A lot of people did. Literally no one could fucking grasp that it might be some creative writing.
Right.
Might be someone doing a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't understand why that's such a hard concept for people
or it might just be a crazy person on the internet.
Right. I mean, this one is like, there was some good story design. I was like, oh, this is actually like clever. Like he's doing some good shit.
Good.
But that was the hardest. Like people could they could believe that he was crazy, or they could believe that it was real. They couldn't believe that it was just creative writing. And that has fascinated me. Like, I don't get it. We don't teach enough art in schools, maybe. I
don't know. I really do. I really don't know why it has to be. And a lot of times what you run across is like somebody will come at you and say, this thing is all real. I recognize it as real. And then you say, well, this is actually creative writing. Well, how do you know? Because I was the one that created it. And then either you're lying or they have to hate you. Yeah. And now they have to dedicate their life to destroying you.
And that like has to be some sort of ego fucking thing.
I really don't know, but there is no, can't you just appreciate this as creative writing and move along if you like, I mean, I've met people in the conspiracy realm that said this to me, like literally said this to me. I hate fiction. And I'm like,
deeply ironic statement.
That's so ironic. And it also says something about them. Mm-hmm. Something broken. Yeah. You can't enjoy storytelling. Why? Unless you you can. Obviously you can enjoy storytelling, but you have to believe it's real. Yeah. And I can't get my head around that. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I don't have to. Yeah. All I know is like when people tell me those things now, I don't try to have a conversation with them. I'm like, okay, each to their own, bye.
Yeah, like we're not on the same wavelength.
Yeah, we're just not. It's just art. Like, yeah. What's wrong with that?
Just art. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just art. That's been said to me.
That's sad.
I tried to explain people like ONGSAT was an attempt at doing creative storytelling using the internet as the medium. Wait, it's just art? And they were like really disappointed and angry with me that it would just be art.
That's really too bad.
Trust me, if I could wave my wand and make it all real, I still wouldn't.
Yeah. Why is that disappointing? Come on, man.
I don't know. So yeah, Dave and I tried to do a couple of things. We tried to do this one thing where it was like, you know, at the time, remember this is like early 2000s.
Yeah.
The whole Mark and Kathy, Bryce Taylor,
the Monarch shit.
Monarch stuff was like running amok. And I knew a couple of people that had fallen prey to, in one case, Mark and Kathy. Yeah. People that were going to deprogram them. And they like really like convinced these women that they were like, you know, victims of this Monarch program.
So fucking evil.
And yeah, it is. It's like culty.
Yeah. It's just, I hate that shit more than I can say. Like,
me too. Right. So I'm like, I told David, like, let's do an ARG where basically it's the premise of the story is this guy who thinks he's being mind controlled and he undergoes Jungian therapy and he finally realizes that he's being manipulated by the people who are trying to convince him that he's being mind controlled. But it will we will walk him out of this thing. Yeah. When we launched it, we got a lot of attention, and unfortunately, we got a lot of attention from the people that were believers in the Monarch program, and they like just hammered us. They overran us, and it turned out that a couple of those people were from the old Dark Planet forum. So, and you know that makes sense because they were of that ilk, and so like them and a bunch of it was just a bunch of people, and the thing was set up to be a Google hunt. I had all this stuff placed that you would have to do like very creative Google searches.
Yeah.
and you would find like little weird web pages that would take you like other places. And so it was basically like centered around using Google. And like 2003, I think it was the heat of this thing. Google was still fairly new.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, we're going to utilize Google as a centerpiece. And like the whole gimmick of this is that people will have to search for the clues. And
yeah.
I had a couple of like rudimentary chatbot AI stuff that was commercialized at that point. And so I had that incorporated into the pages, but we didn't get very far because like all of a sudden there were all these people on all of these forums like talking about how we were government agents. And
yeah,
it was just, it got really ugly really, really fast. And we're just like, you know what? This is not worth it.
Okay. So that's where like the ARGs or government weapons technology shit comes from, starts bubbling up out of. Yeah. Gotcha.
So it started bubbling out of that.
Fucking A.
Yeah. And so we just shut it down.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I put a lot of work into it, but like I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going through this again.
Yeah. Exactly. You've literally been through that shit once before. No one ever
not going through this again. So we just like shut it down and went off and did other things. Like we did some commercial ARG stuff and just kind of like didn't try to do anything grassroots for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that was sad, but that was the reality of like, especially that era. There was
very paranoid era.
Yeah, there was like all these forums that like popped up almost overnight, and I mean, there's a lot of them, and they got a lot of traffic. I mean, I think Godlike came out of that era.
Yeah.
And
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Above Top Secret
came out of that era. Above Top Secret actually was a forum that we were going to use for Majestic.
Oh,
yeah.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah. EA had done an agreement with them to use them as the central forum for that game. And then when the game didn't happen, it got leaked out that EA was talking to them about using Above Top Secret for the game.
Yeah.
And so that, of course, became a conspiracy.
Right.
To the conspiracy theorists. Like, oh, it's the government and the gaming companies and, you know.
I had spent a lot of time on Above Top Secret, like, in like 2011 or so, and there was like...
That was much later, yeah.
Yeah, but there was whispers of Above Top Secret being, in on it. And that's probably where that came from too.
Yep. Well, they were in on the fact that they had agreed to be used as the central forum for Majestic. But that's where that rumor started, is because
that's wild.
Just like I had used Dark Planet for Ong's Hat. And I actually told the Majestic people, I mean the EA people, I'm like, you got to be real careful with this.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Comes out of it. It's crazy how like these all these like legends and rumors and shit, it's just like this game of telephone by people misinterpreting shit.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and this is just me from years of being around this stuff, but it seems like they have some sort of innate need for drama.
Yeah.
Even where there isn't drama, they will create it.
I think that's exactly correct. It's they need excitement and adventure.
Yeah.
They need the infinite game is what it is.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what it fucking is.
They're creating their own infinite game.
Yeah. It's just not necessarily a healthy one.
It's not a pleasant one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you happen to be somebody that they target as being the enemy, they can make life very, 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 very unpleasant.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gets old after a while. So there was this couple in New York, Teresa Duncan, Jeremy Blake.
Okay.
Jeremy was a artist who worked in the video game industry, and then he branched out and started doing, at the time, this was like early, I want to say like 07-ish.
Yeah.
He started doing what I thought at the time was like way ahead of his time. He started doing digital art, like motion digital art paintings.
Yeah. Okay.
And he got real popular, real famous for it. His girlfriend, Teresa Duncan, was also in the video game industry. She did kind of a not shoot 'em up games, but more like the kind of games that were really for women, girls.
Yeah.
Which was at the time, it was like way ahead of its time as well.
Yeah.
I think she won an award or two for some of the things she did. And so they're together as a couple. They're in New York. They're living around St. Mark's Place. And then they moved to Venice, California, LA. And Teresa's working on a screenplay to develop a movie, it sounded really cool. She was doing a modern version of Alice in Wonderland called Alice Underground. And Jeremy was doing stuff like he was doing music videos with, why can't I think of his name? Oh, can't think of his name. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill
Beck.
me? Yeah. So he was working with Beck and people like that. And then Teresa ran this blog called The Wisdom of the Staircase, or The Wit of the Staircase. It comes from an old French saying. We've all had this happen to us. It's like you're at a party, somebody says something, you don't say something back, you leave. When you're going down the stairs, you're like, I should have said. Yeah. It's The Wit of the Staircase. And so she had a blog, and she used to write about it. So like her blogging started to get kind of weird, and she started to get like very conspiratorial.
Yeah.
And she became convinced that she was being harassed and pursued by Scientology because they got involved with Beck, who was a Scientologist and came from a Scientology family.
Yeah.
And so she was convinced that they were stalking them and harassing them. Now, do I know that for a fact? No, I don't. Do I think that's possible? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do think it, but I also think it's possible that she just was imagining it.
Yeah, definitely too. Also, but like you wouldn't put it past the Scientologists.
No, exactly. I've had run-ins with these people, and they're spooky because they're a cult.
They're a cult.
And if you do something that they become convinced that you're an SP, they're going to be on your ass.
Yeah.
You're a suppressive personality, as it's known in Scientology, which means that you are the person that they oppose. Like, we're talking about people that sign 3 billion year contracts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we can't think reasonably here. Like, they bought the Xenu story.
Right.
Even Lee Remini, like when she grew up a Scientologist, and when she got to the point where they gave her the Xenu story, they put her in the skiff and gave her the Xenu story. Yeah. She like read it, and she's like, "That's it? That's what I've been doing my whole life about?" And she left. She left Scientology because of that. Like, who wouldn't? Like, what normal, sane person wouldn't,
Honestly.
Yeah. But like, so if you're dealing with people that are like Sea Org level people, like, you're not dealing with sane people.
No.
And they're called
zealots.
You're dealing with zealots, insane zealots.
Yeah.
And people that obviously, if they ever had any kind of reason, it's been burned out long ago. So anyway, so Teresa becomes convinced that they're under they're under the thumb of Scientology.
Sure.
So she ends up committing suicide over this.
Oh, fuck.
And Jeremy comes in, finds her, and then he becomes distraught, and then he commits suicide.
Oh, Jesus.
He like walks into the ocean.
Jesus Christ.
All they did was find his wallet and his watch and something on the beach.
Wow.
He did the classic thing of like, you leave your wallet and your watch. Yeah. So all this is happening, and then of course something like that gets the ear of the press. Yeah. So it gets written up in Vanity, whatever.
One of them.
No, all of them.
Yeah.
It becomes a thing. It's like it's in Media. It's in Media Bistro, Vanity Fair. It's in all these major publications. So while this is happening, there's this other guy. I'm not going to say his name because we've made peace. He becomes convinced that they're not dead, that they staged their death as part of an ARG.
Oh, boy.
And the press picks this up and writes about him. And he starts going on and on about me.
Oh, no.
Because I'm the ARG guy. And like he starts going, and so like the mainstream press picks it up, and from that the conspiracy press picks it up. And I mean, like some of the major players for traffic back then, which was like Alex Constantine and people like that, who, I mean, these people can like run some numbers as like who used to go to their sites. Yeah. And so all of a sudden I'm seeing these massive spikes in traffic, and I'm looking at where they're coming from. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Yeah. And so now this is being hung around my neck.
Oh, God.
This is like 2007, I want to say. Yeah. And so eventually And this guy goes to Unfiction.
Yeah.
And Collective Detective, and he's like running amok over there and talking about Joe Matheny, blah 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 blah, ARGs, blah blah blah, Teresa Duncan, Jeremy Blake, blah 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 blah, and everybody like over there is like looking at me like, do you know this guy? I'm like, no, I don't know this guy. It's like, sorry that he's doing this, but like it really has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And they were understanding. They're like, yeah, well, this guy's crazy, obviously. And so as it turns out, like around 2012. This went on for years. For 2012, he finally winds down, and then he contacts me, and we had a phone conversation. We had a couple.
Yeah.
And he said to me, first of all, he said, I got way into the conspiracy thing, too into it. I so into it that my wife left me with the kids because all I would do is like stay up all night on these conspiracy sites. I wasn't going to work. I was like, I basically kind of lost my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I lost my wife and kids, and then I really lost my mind.
Yeah.
And about that time, because I was writing all this stuff on my blog, and your name had come up, these people showed up.
Son of a bitch.
And started talking to me and convincing me that you were behind all this. And as it turned out, it was some of the people from the old Dark Planet forum.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And then he eventually came back to sanity and realized if he ever wanted to see his kids again, he better get his shit together.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when he got his shit together, he was like, oh, I need to call this Joe Matheny guy. I kind of fucked him.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
So he called me and apologized. I'm like, no, dude, you know what? The fact that you call me, that's all you need to do. I understand, like, you told me, like, what led to this. I understand you had a breakdown.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to hold you responsible for it. I do hold the people responsible that were using you.
Right.
I hold them very responsible, but I don't hold you responsible. And then it all wound down, except several conspiracy theorists hang on to the fact to this day that even though he said, I had a nervous breakdown because my wife, even though he said all that, like, that's not really, like, he had to say that, or like, that's not what happened, or he misunderstands. Like, somehow I'm still,
Jesus Christ,
it's still me doing it. I'm behind all of this somehow. And so I asked him, I'm like, so do you still think that Teresa and Jeremy faked their death? He's like, oh no, like, no, there's like, like that was tragic. And I shouldn't have been, like, he told me he was like calling the police station in the precinct where they died, telling the cops they're not really dead. You need to investigate, like calling their mom and like,
oh man,
like, yeah, just making it horrible for these people. I'm sure.
That's wicked sad.
And so that's why it's hard for me to hold a grudge.
Right.
Because like, yeah, I got a lot of harassment out of that, but at least I like, like I didn't have a dead daughter and son that I was being harassed about.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Or dead, like, best friends. Like, I guess her, Teresa's friends were getting calls and like, they were really angry.
Man. Oh, that's
all
too
this
bad.
going on. So like, yeah, this was a big thing.
Yeah.
And so this was like one of the things that probably led to the conspiracy theorist framing ARGs as a government op.
Right.
Was this. Right. It all came from a guy having a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
Who admitted later that he had a nervous breakdown and they won't accept his admission.
Yeah.
Because it's a story that they need and they want. And so anything that contradicts that story contradicts them.
Yeah.
They have to walk back the things they said.
And there's more scaffolding built off those stories too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these people built like mini careers in the conspiracy community around this very thing.
Sure. Yeah. Well, his connections back to all those psychedelic people, and we all know they were CIA. We all know all of them. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. If you took LSD, you were part of the CIA MK Ultra experiments. Yeah. Didn't you know that?
I mean, I kind of figured, but whatever. It's fine. I don't care.
but that's what I'm saying is like they have so much invested.
Yeah.
And they've built the story around themselves and themselves around the story that when the whole linchpin of the story, which is the guy who had the nervous breakdown, who was spreading all this rumors, says, oh shit, I had a nervous breakdown. Sorry, everybody. And like, this is not really what was happening. I was was having delusions, and they're like, no, we can't accept that. I mean, it's a great example of so many different things. It's like how the rumor gets started.
Yeah.
The fact that other people try to capitalize on the rumor. Yeah. And then when the rumor turns out to be bunk, they can't back off the story.
Right. Yeah. It's once someone starts building more structures off of like a falsehood, it then becomes like materially easier to just it takes a less like energy expenditure to just ignore the debunking, for lack of a better word, or like the truth, the course correction, to just fucking ignore that than it is to like dismantle all this other scaffolding and see if the pieces still fit together and shit. And it's just like, I don't think people are aware of it half the time. I think it's just like a subconscious, like moving towards the course that requires less energy because they're not thinking about why they're thinking. And
they'd be terrible scientists because they don't know how to change with the data.
Yeah, exactly.
You change when the data changes. You have to change everything about what you're saying. Like you have to change your conclusion. Like everything changes when the data changes.
I don't know, man. I heard all the scientists for CIA.
Yeah, well, like as we've talked about in this conversation, so-called scientists also play that game as well. Yeah,
for sure.
Like you've got people who are willing to say like, no, climate change is not real. That'll be $50. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like everything seems to like these days come down to money.
It does.
Even power comes down to money and power.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
More or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, money gets you power.
It's the easiest way for it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think that the thing about the Golden Suicides is it's a wonderful example of how a conspiracy theory can like just spin out of control because like.
I've literally never heard of it before. I sort of assumed that. Yeah, literally like. Maybe I have it's not in the database.
Google the Golden Suicides.
Because like when I read that like in the script, I was like, I was talking about like people jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Like that's what
No, the reason they called it the Golden Suicides is because both Jeremy and Teresa had these promising golden careers in front of them.
Yeah. Oh wow. I mean,
Teresa had just won like all this acclaim for this video game she was doing, and she had like real traction with getting this cool, what sounded like a really cool interpretation of the Alice in Wonderland story.
Yeah.
Like it was like, it sounded really cool. Like she had potential in front of her, and Jeremy definitely did. He already had traction in the art world and in the video game world. He like, you know, like they both did. They were like this golden couple, and Teresa like had a breakdown, whether it was induced by Scientology stalking her or not. Yeah. And she dragged Jeremy with her. So it's like that syndrome, you know, like where you get two people in the room and one person's crazy and one's not, and then they end up both being crazy. Yep. That's what happened to them.
Man.
In front of the whole world.
You know, I'm scanning this article on Vanity Fair right now. This is sad as fuck. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very sad.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, like all these conspiracy theorists were like trying to use this, and I'm like, you people are sick. This is a fucking tragedy.
Dude, yeah.
And you're trying to leverage this so you can push this anti-ARG pro mind control bullshit.
Yeah. The same type of shit that fucking drives people crazy.
Yeah. There was like all these, you know, conspiracy podcasters that were having this guy on, and that's the other thing. Like all these people were enabling this guy instead of like taking him aside and going, dude, like you need to like back off this for a little while. Like your wife just left you with the kids. Why do you think that is?
Yeah.
Like instead of like doing what a decent human being would do,
they handed him into oblivion.
They used him.
Yeah.
They used him so they could further their shitty little careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, goddamn.
And people are getting, like Hollywood, of course, because of the ARG thing and everything else, is like now starting to pay attention to things like ATS and Ong's Hat and like all these things. Yeah. And so I got contacted by a production company that kept talking about doing a Sci-Fi Channel thing and like talking. Nobody ever actually laid out a contract.
Yeah.
And so what they were doing, in fact, was they were talent spoofing me. as it is known in the software industry, which is talking to me like, oh, we're just talking. It's like, maybe we're going to do something together. You're like, really what they were doing is they were extracting information that they wanted to use.
Right.
For a kids show on Fox.
Kids show.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I got an email from the guy whose dad became the showrunner for that kids show.
Yeah.
And he said that he had overheard a podcast where I was talking about how I had got ripped off.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said his dad was the showrunner, and he wanted me to know, first of all, he's a fan of my work, but that his dad had no idea that the idea was ripped off.
Yeah.
And that the writer of the show had basically done it, and that he's done this kind of thing before.
Christ.
And that he wrote the treatment and passed it off to his father, who didn't know that he was basically like, ripping off the story.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks for everybody.
Yeah. But so I heard through the grapevine is this happens all the time.
Yeah.
And apparently this guy is notorious for doing this.
Doesn't fucking surprise me.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
I mean, again, you have to think about what we're talking about. Is we're talking about something that's an industry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So their primary motivation is to make money any way they can.
Yep.
They have no interest in art as art. They have no interest in honoring the artist who creates the art. All they have an interest in is getting their hands on something that they can repackage and sell to a studio and pocket the money. That's all they care about.
Yeah,
They're grifters. There's no other way to say it. They're grifters. That's all they are.
Man.
All the stories you've heard about slimy producers from Hollywood.
They're all true.
They're all true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the reason that stereotype exists is because most stereotypes have a root in reality. And that stereotype has a root in reality.
Yeah. Luckily, I haven't really dealt with them. I don't plan to after this.
Yeah, you really don't. You don't want to.
Yeah.
And I've come to the conclusion that even if somebody comes to me and spends a couple of years courting my favor and trying to convince me that they're just independent artists like me, they're probably not.
Yeah.
If there's
3 years.
If there's a studio involved anywhere in the picture, don't get involved.
Yeah, yeah.
Or if you do, have real good representation.
Yeah.
And have real good entertainment attorney who's on your side, which means that like 60% of what you make is going to go to somebody else.
Yeah. Christ. Maybe just better not to do it at all.
Or just don't do it at all.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, I've done quite well with my art. Like, I've done well enough that I don't feel like I'm missing out on not having a studio contract and not having even a book contract anymore. I'm independent, 100% independent, with the exception of one publisher, which is an independent publisher, Falcon.
Yeah,
yeah. Who's always done me right. I never have to chase the check, and it's always for the right amount.
Hell yeah.
They always they send me the money without me even asking. Like, I just wake up one day and there it is in my inbox.
Hell yeah.
And I've never had to chase the check with them. So they're always going to be one of my publishers.
Hell yeah. They prove themselves.
But everybody else, gone. Like, I'm the publisher. I keep all the money. Of course, I have to do all the promotion. But when I had publishers, I had to do it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
So if there's anybody listening to this that's a young artist that says, how do I do this? Do it yourself.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. I mean, Gabriel Kennedy came to me and said that he was having problems with the publisher for the Robert Anton Wilson biography that he wrote.
Yeah.
And I just showed him well, this is how you do it yourself.
Hell yeah.
And he did it, and he's doing just fine with the sales.
Fuck yeah.
I'm you already know all the people that want this book.
Right.
You either know them or you know how to reach them. So there's no publisher that's going to do it better than you. It's like, yes, it means you're going to have to exert some elbow grease.
Right.
Right?
Generally, that's just like what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Like, and
is it worth it to you to give away 60+% of your profit to somebody to poorly do what you can do yourself, or just take it on and do it yourself better than they would do anyway and keep the money? Like, then you're in control of your image, you're in control of your marketing, and you control your money.
Yeah.
It's like the days of having to go through the gatekeepers is over.
Because the gatekeepers are essentially just like supplying, a technological solution that you can, implement by yourself now.
Yeah.
You just like, you have all the tech that they could have provided you.
It's all there now.
Yeah.
Like, everything that they do for you, you can do yourself, which means you're going to spend some time doing it.
Yep.
You may have a little bit of a learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you do that, you've done it in a way that you are happy with the results and with the portrayal of, like, the optics of what you like. The optics as an artist of how you are portrayed is very important. Yes. I think it's very important.
I agree.
And so if you hand it over to somebody else, they're going to probably fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
But they're definitely not going to do everything you'd like them to do. They're not going to be as Johnny on the spot with, like, making sure that you do all the things you need to do. They're not going to be as agile as you can be. If something pops up and you say, "Ooh, I need to capitalize on that. I need to maybe buy some keywords on Google," or any number of things that you could do. I need to run Amazon ads. Whatever you need to do, you can do it. You can make that decision yourself. If you go through a publisher, they're probably going to say no.
Yeah, and unless you're like Stephen King, like, you're not going to get like the best of the best, marketers or whatever. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're not selling thousands, hundreds of thousands of books for these, millions of books to these people, they're not going to pay much attention to you. Same thing with an agent. I had an agent for a while, and because I'm not Lady Gaga, I don't get the attention.
Yeah.
It's like, I can say this, this agency represents me. A big deal. They're not doing anything for me. They're not getting me any opportunities, because they're like, the guy that you get assigned to, or the person that you get assigned to, that is your agent.
Yeah.
Is probably has 2 or 3 other people that are making most of their money, and they're going to spend all their time on those people. And you're going to be somebody off here in the corner that they might kind of, sort of, maybe develop a little bit, but they're not going to spend a lot of time on you.
Yeah.
If you don't come out of the gate making them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, they're not going to spend time on you. You're going to land on their desk and they'll be like, "Oh, this guy."
Yeah, it's business. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah. That's it. It's business.
Yeah.
I think I told you, the agent told me, if you could write a YA novel, I could sell it in a heartbeat. Yeah. And I'm like, do I strike you as a YA novel kind of guy?
That's really funny, honestly.
And so, as an experiment, I wrote a YA novel.
Yeah.
And I gave it to him. And it was like probably the worst thing the paint by numbers piece of shit I've ever done in my life. And he got excited. He's like, "This is what I'm talking about, man. We can sell this." And I'm like, "No, you can't. I just wanted to know what you wanted. And now I know what you want. You're not my agent anymore."
That's hilarious.
Because I can't, in good faith, I can't deliver that. And I can't let that go out the door with my name on it.
Yeah.
Just can't happen. And the fact that I sat down in a weekend after reading, like, I went to the bookstore and I bought some of these YA novels and I read a couple. I'm like, "Oh, there's a formula. Let me write to the formula." Okay. And I just handed it over. He's like, "This is what I'm talking about." I'm like, Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah.
That's what you want. You want something that's paint by numbers like everything else.
It's also depressing because, like, non-paint by numbers young adult shit would be like a boon to society.
It really would be, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many people that have told me that when they encountered Ong's Hat in the 90s, that they were young.
Yeah.
Like high school young.
Yeah.
So I guess I did write YA, but I wrote YA for a very specific type of YA person.
Yeah.
Somebody who was
as long as their parents didn't know, because
exactly. Yeah. It was not parent friendly family friendly.
Yeah, no, not at all.
but that's fine. It's like, yeah. Like I wasn't seeking out family friendly shit when I was in high school either, you know?
No, definitely not. Yeah. So like, what did end up happening with the Meta Machine throughout the 2000s?
I put it away.
Yeah.
And then I sat down and I thought about, well, you know, I put a lot of work into this thing.
Yeah. Did you use it for any of the other projects you were working on?
No. No, I literally mothballed it. I like took it offline, the machine offline, and just stuck it in the closet.
Oh, shit.
And then around like 2004, I started working at startups.
Yeah.
And I moved to Santa Barbara, and people were like talking to me about like, man, if we could just had an algorithm that like did recommendations. I'm like, really? That's what's hot right now, huh? That's what we need. I'm like, So I took the machine out of mothballs and I took the code off and sat down and looked at like what parts of this, what are modules of this that could be commercialized, and how could I improve that? And of course, update the code base because like, you know, this stuff is old. It started a long time ago, and there's like a lot of new improvements in code. And so I updated the code and I started using it as recommendation engine, just pure recommendation engine. And so I used it at two different startups that I was a member of. And I got to the point where I patented a bunch of it. The thing that was happening at that time is that the social media wave was just starting to happen.
Yeah.
And in the early days of social media, there was a conversation going on that I was a part of, which is we see that this can be abused.
Yes.
So, and we also would like to see standards implemented.
Yeah.
So that when people go, for example, one of the standards was the FOAF.xml, which is,
what is that?
So friends of a friend.xml.
Okay.
Which was an XML file that was proposed that would follow you around.
Yeah.
And so when you joined a new social media site, you could upload your FOAF.xml and it would just like, it would populate with all your friends and like, so like there'd be uniformity across your social media accounts.
Yeah.
So like your friends list should follow you around because they're your friends.
Right.
So you shouldn't have to keep rebuilding every time you join a new social media. Like, and we're talking about, this is the old days. So like Friendster, if you remember them.
Yep.
MySpace.
Yep.
Facebook was just coming out of the phase where they were university only.
Yep.
Like in the early days, you had to have an EDU account to even join Facebook. And they were just coming out of that and opening up to like anybody can join Facebook. So we started talking about that. And then also we formed a consortium called the Attention Trust.
Okay.
And what we were talking about was like, we knew this was going to happen. This is like, you know, like 2005, 6. We were like, none of these companies, all these companies are being funded by venture capital currently. Mm-hmm. But at some point, they're going to need a plan for profitability.
Right.
And we're pretty sure that what they're going to propose is data sale.
Right.
They're going to sell data. And of course, they were all denying it at the time.
Right.
Facebook, oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're not sure we're going to do that. And we're all like, yeah, that's what you're going to do. Yeah. It's like you're going to sell ads, but that's not going to keep you afloat. You're going to sell data.
You're going to be generating something incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
They're going to offer you money for it. You're going to sell it.
Yes. And so the way we looked at it was like that data is generated by the user.
Yeah.
Therefore, that user owns that data.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a mechanism in place so that data is encrypted and it only can be decrypted by the owner of the data, not the platform, but the person who generated it.
Yeah.
That's why we call it the attention trust, your attention data in trust.
Yeah.
So we actually proposed a mechanism that would do just that. It was like there would be a standard. Every social media site will adhere to the standard. So it would be, like an ISO.
Yeah.
It would like be part of the International Standards Organization.
Yeah.
There will be these standards. and the standards will be all data is owned by the user. All data is encrypted and kept in a vault. Access to that vault is only entrusted to the user who generated the data. Any site that wants to access some of that data must have the permission of the user who owns the data and only have access to the parts of the data that the user gives them. So, for example, if I join, foo.com and foo.com keeps my data, or I have my data encrypted, and they say, we want to have access to your name, your address, your email address, your phone number. Like, they pick things that they want. And I say, okay, you can have access to those 5 things you asked for. And any money that's generated off of that, you have to share with me.
Yeah.
And of course, as soon as people like Facebook, in fact, I'm going to use the example. I was in a meeting with the Attention Trust talking to several representatives of groups, social media organizations. And I said just what I said to you. I just laid it out. Like, this is how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And the guy from Facebook said to me, you sound like a fucking communist.
Oh, man.
And that's
and
that's when the light went off in my head. And I said, they are absolutely going to sell data.
Yeah, they are irredeemable.
Yeah. But they had not yet declared that that's what they were going to do. They had actually denied that's we're not sure that's what we're going to do. Probably not. That's what we're going to do. And I just went, that's what they're doing. They're too defensive about this.
Yeah. What the fuck?
And of course, we all see that that's what they did. So Attention Trust, eventually just faded away because we couldn't get any traction with any of the companies.
Oh, it's so fucking sad.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to know the history of that, just go to archive.org and put in attentiontrust.org. Yeah. And you can look up the history of the evolution of that movement, and you can see not long after 2007, it just kind of disappears because we couldn't get anybody to sign on. Nobody.
That's so fucked.
And so I put in place an agreement when I decided to develop the stuff I was doing with the MetaMachine components with a partnership. I said, we have to adhere to the attentiontrust.org standards. We have to.
Yeah.
And I found out, the way I found out was funny. My partners told me, absolutely, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And
I found out my partners were not doing that behind my back.
Man.
Because, wait, it gets better. Because NBC Universal called me thinking that I knew what was going on and said, we want to get you're the guy building this, and we never seem to talk to you, and we want to hear what you think about this, and maybe explain to us how this works. And I'm like, explain to you about what?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we're looking at licensing your components. I'm like, that's news to me. And what do you want to do with them? Well, we want to capture data and sell data. And I'm like, you want to what?
Wow.
And so I went and put the code in an encryption lock so that nobody could get to it.
Yeah.
And then I went to my partners and I'm like, explain this to me.
Yeah.
And they couldn't really. And I said, okay, well, I'm gone. Bye. Yeah. They're like, will we get to keep the code? I'm like, good luck with that. But yeah, okay, sure. Bye. It's like, oh, by the way, that's RSA level 3 encryption. Good luck. What are you talking about? It's like all the code's encrypted. Well, you have to unencrypt it. Oh, I forgot how. There's a key somewhere, but I think it's lost. So basically, I left them with useless encrypted code.
I mean, that was a righteous move on your part, but what the fuck? That sucks, man.
Money again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, yeah, I'm sure everybody wanted that money because the system that I had built basically tracked everything you did. And for a reason is because I was building an interface on the fly based on the things that you did. So I built, I looked at everything you did.
Oh, wow.
And then I built an interface based on things you've done in the past. So the interface was 100% fluid.
That's insane.
And I don't care what you told me. I kind of 1/3 cared what you told me, what you wanted the public to know about you.
Yeah.
But one of the things I'd found out in building these systems was that people would say, for example, this is the example I use, and it's, it's severe because this is an example.
Sure.
Is people would say, oh, I'm into Tool and I'm into Metallica.
Yeah.
So they would be on their profile.
Yeah.
But when I look at their listening behavior, just like for music, like, dude, you listen to a lot of Britney Spears.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I build your private interface, like just what you see, your dashboard,
you're
going to get a lot of Britney Spears recommendations.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want.
Yeah.
But of course, your profile for the public can say anything it wants to say. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take that into exception, but I'm only going to give it like 1/3 weight.
Yeah.
Because it's not what you're doing, but it's what you're saying. Again, this is like very exaggerated, but
sure.
But this is like, it's what I built. I'm like, I want to have an interface that will configure itself on the fly based on what you do and what you've done, not on what you've said.
Yeah.
Because back then, everybody was having you like join a site and then go through like tag these things so we know what to recommend to you, right?
Yeah.
And that really is not how people function. And what I discovered from being on both sides of the interface, being the admin on the back end and seeing what people were doing, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of people that like don't walk the walk.
Right.
They talk the talk, but they have a different walk. I'm like, so I want to give them what they want, and I don't want to publicly humiliate them.
Of course.
But I want to give them what they want.
Yeah.
And I was becoming very frustrated with recommendation systems which were not recommending things to me. For example, if I go through, it's gotten better now, but this is back in like 2004 to 2007.
Right.
I'd go through like a music system and I'd tell them the 50 things that I like.
Yeah.
And then it would recommend something that I told them I like. I'm like, dude, you can't recommend to me what I already know. I told you I already know this.
Yeah.
You have to recommend something like this that I haven't listened to before. Oh, I guess you'd only know that if you knew my behavior. And that's where the wheels started rolling for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, behavior, it's where it's at.
And like, if your data was actually encrypted and actually secure,
then it's fine.
That's fucking rad. If it's not,
it's fucked up.
That's not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of your decision to just immediately fucking walk upon finding out because, Yeah,
because basically the whole thing was based on trust.
Yeah.
And like, you give me your data, I encrypt it, I don't abuse it, I don't sell it unless it's with your permission. And when I do that, I share the profit with you because you are the one that generated the data.
Yeah.
But nobody else was thinking about that like that. I mean, the attention trust people were, but we were in a minority apparently because when we tried to talk to the companies, it made sense to us. Like, this is a win-win for everybody. Well, they don't consider it a win.
Yeah.
They want all of it. They get to run the table. They get to keep all the money. They keep all the data. They get to own all the content. It's like basically they were running the table.
And the table in this case is like you can. Especially now, so many years on, it's like this is not a new thing to say whatsoever, but like it's everything. It's our whole fucking, professional lives and a lot of our fucking personal lives. And you can do such fucking atrocious shit with the amount of data that you have on everybody now. Like things that most people can't even fucking imagine.
Yeah.
Tricks are being played on them.
You can literally ruin somebody's life.
Oh yeah. And I don't know. That's
So at the Attention Trust, we kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
And we tried to warn people. And then we thought that like they had overlooked it and we would bring it to their attention and they'd be like, oh, you're right. But that's not what was going on. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
This was like the game plan from Go.
Yeah.
This has always been the end game for them to run the table, to own the platform, the content, and the data generated from it. And now they do.
Now they do, yeah.
But so everybody knows there were people out there that were thinking about this that wanted it to be different.
Yeah.
But, the organizations that could have played nice didn't play nice. Once again, when money gets involved, it all goes downhill.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I wasn't using the meta machine per se on any projects. I was using retooled components of the meta machine. You know, the what would you say, the more commercial aspects of the things that could be used from the meta machine and incorporated into these, you know, less esoteric systems.
Yeah.
But basically, like I was trying to build a system that built itself for you, like that built an interface for you.
Yeah.
Like I really like in the long picture, I'm like, if I can make this work, I could build an operating system that could do something like that. Like every time you booted it up, it like remembered what you'd been doing and it like reconfigured its interface based on what you had done. Man. Like so, like folders would appear on your desktop based on the things you use the most. It would be all these things. Like the applications you use the most would be in the foreground. The stuff you barely use is in the background. Like, I have like this vision.
Some of that's come to pass, but I imagine that would have been way cooler, way earlier too. It sounds like. Yeah,
it would have been way earlier, but it didn't happen because once again, people got greedy.
Yeah.
So they got the code encrypted.
Do you know if they were ever able to unencrypt it?
Nope. They never were. So the cool thing is like when I left, they all went after each other. And then I had to be called in. I had to fly out to New York for a deposition.
No shit.
Yeah, because they were all suing each other.
Wow.
Yeah. And then like in the room with the lawyers, they were yelling at me, "He left us with some code that didn't work." I'm like, "No, it worked. Like, I'm sorry that you couldn't decrypt it, but it worked. It was working when I left."
Yeah.
Like, you could talk to any engineers that were working with me on the project. It was working. It was working cool. Like, we had a great thing going. And then they all got really kind of red-faced and angry.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And good for them. Because, you know, I said up front, I do not want this to be used for the gathering and sale of data. I want it to be used for the gathering and use privately of data to make a better operating environment.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the thing people still don't get their head around is like, if it wasn't for the abuse of data, the use of data could make things much easier all around for the computer world.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's a resource. It's a fuel. It's power. Like,
yeah.
You know, I mean, I just did a fun trick where I figured out a way to get like a incredibly complete personality profile of myself in an easily understandable way for LLMs, and then using it to simulate like very personal pitfalls that I might run into, like trying to, you know, doing various things or whatever. Like, and it's, you know, it's only a very earliest version, but it's really effective at like stimulating new ways of thinking about shit I'm trying to think about and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've personalized it myself. Like, that's fucking data that I gave it to the machine because I want it to work well, but all people see is just the abuse of it. And yeah, it's deeply unfortunate. The whole thing.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, I guess it's just an aspect of human nature that we have to deal with.
I guess, yeah, I suppose so. I mean,
I thought the encryption and the storage would be the answer to how we can end run that, you know, like the unfortunate proclivity of some people to do the wrong thing always. Yeah. If this data is encrypted, then they can't get at it. And like they have to come to the person that has the keys to that data and say, we want these pieces of data. And you're like, you can have those pieces of data, but you have to, if you make any money, you have to share the money with me.
Yeah. The only thing you can hope is that like the centralized nature of these systems now is going to collapse under their own weight someday, maybe.
I hope so.
Yeah, me fucking too.
So anyway, around this time, I think this is about the time that Kinsella put out his book, which is Legend Tripping Online, The Search for Onk's Hat.
Yeah.
Which is not very accurate, but it's okay. I mean, the first half is great because it talks about legend tripping, and that's cool.
Yeah.
The Onk's Hat part, like he wrote it around 2001. He didn't publish it till like 2011 or something. He never went back and looked at like the outcome of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he kind of took the position of maybe not defending, but like presenting the trolls as like something other than trolls. I don't know what he was trying to do. Well, I do. Here's the thing. Academia is as bad as Hollywood. We were just talking about how bad Hollywood is. Academia is just as bad.
Yep.
And they will go for a sensationalist story over the truth every time.
And usually because of money.
And because of money or tenure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like they get trapped into this, or they enter into this publisher perish scenario. And so I need to write something that's going to get the attention and it's going to get published and like blah, 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 so I can get tenure.
Yeah.
And so they do pretty underhanded, crappy things.
Yeah.
And it's not academically sound what they do half the time.
Yeah.
And they never get called on it because everybody assumes because they're, academics that, they must be the truth. They're academics. It's like, no, sorry.
It's a deeply flawed industry.
It's an industry on top of it.
Exactly.
So academia is an industry. We have to remember that. We sometimes forget that because we look back at the golden days of the academy.
Yeah.
So it's out there, but I don't really stand by it. It's pretty flawed.
Yeah.
But I don't think this was ever the intention of the guy that published it. But it did get it in front of a lot of academics who were into folklore. Yeah. And so it got people in the academic folklore community interested in Ong's Hat. So it did do that.
And that's cool.
And so a lot of people wrote papers on Ong's Hat based on the interest that they were introduced to it through that book. Yeah. And so they did their own thing and did their own study and discovered that it was, more than just this thing that he represented. He basically just hung out on the forum and didn't tell anybody he was there, never approached anybody afterwards, never got anybody's behind the scenes, take on it. It was just it was a smash and grab. Yeah. I got this story and it's sensational. Woo.
Yeah. I didn't have a lot of respect for the people actually involved.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
In fact, when the book came out, I had to find out about it just because Google told me something came out they called Ong's Hat.
Right.
And I looked it up and then I contacted the publisher and I said, hey, can I get a review copy of this? And they said no.
Fucking assholes. Come on.
Yeah, I never got a review copy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I had to buy one.
Oh.
I was living in Santa Barbara and the guy who wrote it was at UCSB. And I contacted him. I said, I'm in Santa Barbara. Should, maybe meet up and have coffee and talk about this. Yeah. He just dodged me. Man. He said, well, I assumed you'd be angry. I'm thinking, I kind of am, but I didn't say that. I'm like, oh, we should just have coffee. We can talk about it. But he dodged me. Man. So, yeah. I guess he was afraid I'd, come across the table on him or something.
Who knows?
I got over it. I'm like, okay, fine. These other people that I'm now talking to who are doing other things that I find, productive, were introduced by this flawed book. So fine. I'll take what I got. Yeah. But I'm never going to fully endorse that book. Yeah. Now,
in 2011, there's probably the biggest ARG phenomenon that I think I've ever seen happen. I've been meaning to ask what your take on Cicada 3301 is.
You mean how many times was I accused of doing it?
Oh, that's a good question too. How many times were you accused of doing it?
An awful lot.
I'd see. It's not your style.
I know.
It's too much Crowley. Mm-hmm.
But because I was friends with Robert Anton Wilson, because I was published by Falcon. Right. Right. Because I did Grey Lodge. Yeah. Everybody assumes I'm a Crowley fan. Right. I am not. Yeah. I am not. And I have not been ever, really. Yeah. I mean, I kind of, when I was younger, I kind of put up with him. Sure. And then after I got to know the OTO and hung around those people, the Black Lodge people, I'm like, forget this. These people are nuts. Yeah. And Crow. And then I found out more because I became interested in Jack Parsons. I found out more and more about Crowley, and I didn't like what I found out. I was like, this guy was kind of an asshole.
He's kind of an asshole, yeah.
And he kind of wanted to be, a cult leader. He wanted to be worshipped. And especially towards the end, like he would like write the letters he would write to Jack and like about Jack. I was like, dude, back off, you know?
Yeah.
It's like Jack's trying to be your friend, and all you worried about is people aren't sending you enough money.
Yeah, straight up. No, that Jack got done dirty by a lot of people.
Yeah, he did. By Hubbard.
Yeah.
By Crowley.
I mean, he was another one. He was an idealist.
By the government.
Like, yeah.
Oh, Jack and I have way too much in common. I got to tell you, like.
Oh yeah.
I read his story and I'm like, oh, that's me. Because like Jack just went along thinking everybody was on the same page, you know? Like, just trusting everybody, and I'm like, God, that's me.
Yeah.
I can be such a fucking bumpkin sometimes. I'm like, I'm just like, yeah, we're all on the same page, right?
Bro, you're telling me.
Because like it never occurs to me that somebody's scheming behind my back, because I would never scheme behind their back. It's not in my nature.
Yep. I hear that.
And then I get caught out like more times than I like to admit.
Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, the cicada thing, I found the cicada thing, and then there was Neurocam.
I don't know about Neurocam.
Yeah, you might want to look that one up. It's I think one word.
Yeah. There
were these two projects that came out about that time, and Cicada and Neurocam like were huge.
Yeah.
But they were ARG-ish.
ARG-ish. Yeah.
Neurocam was very Thelema friendly. So I never like got that involved in it, but I knew people that did.
Yeah.
And they told me it got really weird, and a lot of the people started turning on each other. It was like the Night of the Long Knives. It was like weird. It's like all these people started playing this game, and then like they started breaking into these little silos and like going at each other like really harshly online. I was just like, I thought this was a game.
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. So Neurocam like came to a disastrous smoking ruin's end.
Yeah.
Because nobody could play nice.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the people that were running it ever wanted people to play nice.
Right.
It was a weird experiment. Eventually some people admitted to it being a social experiment.
Yeah.
And then Cicada basically claimed to be recruiting people for something like the NSA.
Right.
Or the RSA, but we don't know.
Yeah.
And again, I think that maybe that was going on, or maybe somebody was just trying to find some good coders.
Yeah.
The people that knew algorithms, and you know, like they were looking for that.
Yeah.
Or somebody just was having fun.
Or it was a research project.
It was a research project, or somebody was just having fun.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of fun to be had. If you were sitting on the sidelines watching this go down,
and you
were watching the people playing, there were some serious people playing this game.
Yeah.
And then there's some other people that were playing this game that started losing their mind, like the Neurocam thing.
Right.
And then there was other people on the sidelines that were like conspiracy theorists that were like opining that it was everything. Like you could imagine it was like that thing at one point in time.
Yeah.
It was an Intel thing. It was an alien thing. It was a cult thing. It was, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so that was interesting, just watching it. And so maybe it was a social experiment, or maybe it was just somebody having fun.
Yeah. And I mean, it only lasted a little while, but then, you know, after died down and then came back in a weirder way.
Yeah, it came back.
Had some strands connecting it to fucking QAnon.
Right. And there was people that were involved in the Cicada game that later went on to be involved in QAnon.
Yeah.
So I don't know that Cicada was involved in QAnon, but people playing Cicada definitely were.
Yeah.
Definitely were. So it had crossover.
Yeah. I don't want to talk at length about QAnon because it doesn't, everyone fucking knows, but like your role as like both a technologist and an artist, like to me, the Living Book Incunabula Ong's Hat project is like, it represents a novel storytelling technology. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of technologies, they can, you know, get used for bad ends as well as good. And like in the context of everything we've talked about so far, like the spookier aspects of all of this, like how did you feel when you first saw the Leviathan that is QAnon?
I recognized it for what it was.
Yeah.
Which was a weaponized ARG.
Yep.
I got really angry.
Yep.
And I started speaking out publicly. Anybody that wanted to talk to me, about the crossover between QAnon and is QAnon an ARG? I said yes.
Yes.
And so I talked to everybody, like even people that I probably shouldn't have talked to.
Yeah.
I talked to them and tried to convince them this is an ARG. And I think one of the first times that was said was I talked to J.G. Michaels at Parallax Views, and we did an interview actually pretty early, like 2017. We did an interview, and then he had a hard drive failure or something. It took longer than it should have for the episode to come out, but we were the first on that point. Is like this is definitely an ARG.
Yeah,
it's an ugly weaponized ARG that's definitely pushing for a alt-right agenda.
Yeah, and
that's when all this stuff was new.
Yeah.
Like like Trump had just got elected.
Yeah, in
2016, and 2017 he was actually the president, and like all this QAnon stuff was like going on, and it was just like I couldn't even believe people were. I had friends I've lost over this.
Yeah.
That like people that I know should know better that called me and started telling me about this QAnon. And like they start telling me like this story, and I'm like, whoa, this is QAnon. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump's going to help us like out of this mess. And like, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, dude. I remember when you and I used to protest Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
And and like the first Daddy Bush. And then the second Bush, like, what happened? Where did you go off the rails?
Yeah.
And then they'd get mad at me.
Right.
And tell me like, you're just like, you're not seeing the whole picture. I'm like, apparently not.
Yeah. This one, you couldn't say, I wrote the fucking thing, you know?
Exactly. But what I could say is like, I recognize the methodology that's being used.
Yeah.
Because I literally invented it.
Yeah.
And it's been weaponized. It's not being used benignly for storytelling. It's being used in a malignant way to control and dupe people into believing what seems to be nothing more than some kind of right-wing quasi-religious agenda.
Yeah. And they're not engaged in experience construction. They're engaged in reality construction.
Yeah. And like all the stuff that was coming out of the QAnon stuff, it just sounded like Christian nationalism to me.
Yeah.
And so I've been around that stuff forever, because I keep my eye on those things. Mm-hmm. And like, like that stuff was like hot in the 90s. Yeah. There was the militia movement and like the Christian identity movement and like all the stuff that was going on, Waco and Ridge and like all that stuff. We've all been through that before. It was all the Bill Cooper stuff just being repeated all over again. Just repeated all over again. Nothing new. The reptilian agenda, David Icke, all that stuff, nothing new. It was all the stuff that I'd heard in the 90s, in the conspiracy culture that we used to make fun of and have fun with, that was now being taken seriously. So again, having lived through that a couple of times, like with Ong's Hat, people taking it seriously. With John Teeter, people taking it seriously. With El Centro, which was the ARG that was supposed to be about the monarch stuff. Mm-hmm. People took it seriously. Like I'd seen it before. The same people. Some of the same people were like now mouthing the QAnon agenda. Yeah. So I felt like I needed to step up and say something at least once. Yeah. And I knew I was putting myself in the crosshairs by doing so, but I didn't care. I'm like, I'm going to say this at least once. Yeah. This is all bullshit. This is an ARG that's being run on you. Yeah. And you need to back off. Of course, some people listened. Unfortunately, other people were like, so you admit it. This is you. You're doing this, or you facilitated this, or you built the thing that they're using. Like, so you're to blame. It's like, okay. Jesus. I mean, I'll tell you one story, which is really strange. But so I did an interview with Slate. Mm-hmm. Around 2017, I think, maybe 18, somewhere around there. And it was after I'd done the interview with Parallax Views, and I was trying to talk to them about the QAnon thing, and they kind of didn't want to talk about it. Yeah. I thought that they, of all people, would want to talk about it because they're kind of notorious for being progressive, you know? Yeah. Like, well, this is something we need to talk about. And then when I got done with the interview, because we were I was at at the local NPR radio station here in town, and we had a connection between there and New York via studio to studio connection. And so they interviewed me. I was in the studio, the NPR studio here, and they were in New York. I think they were in New York. Anyway, they're on the East Coast. And when we finished the interview, I kind of like stopped talking, and they like walked away from the microphone, but they left their mic hot.
Mm.
And I listened to the conversation that they had, which they didn't know I could hear.
Oh no!
Because I just sat there completely silent. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to this. And the producer, like the person who was the host of the show, you know, like she was less wanting to like burn me alive.
Sure.
But the producer like wanted to burn me alive.
Jesus Christ.
He's like, this guy, he's responsible for this. We should get him. And I was like, what the fuck?
Man.
And then she kind of walked him back.
Yeah.
And she even said like, you know, like this is, I don't want to do this to the show. And so like, but I was like, he was out for blood. God
damn.
Yeah. And I wasn't supposed to hear that.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I hear him say, is that mic hot? And I'm like, I started backing away. Like, just be real quiet, man. Don't let him know you heard. But like, he like at the last minute, he like looked over and like, I wonder if that mic is hot.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I could hear you, dude. You wanted blood. And for what, I don't know.
Yeah, for fucking what? Like, yeah. I don't know why it's so easy to, like, you're just some fucking guy. Smart guy. Creative guy. Yeah, but like.
Just trying to do some art, man.
Yeah, like, come on. What the fuck?
Just over here trying to do some art.
Yeah, it's like the QAnon fuckers, like, it's like they took everything that you tried desperately to keep Ong's hat from turning into and like simulated a world where that, and turn it into it, like spin it right into itself. All the like the negative emergent patterns that like you tried to mitigate and did mitigate through shutting it down. Like, oh, what happens if we just like accelerate that shit? And yeah, bad stuff.
Well, you know, by that time, ARGs had become something that had receded in the background commercially.
Yeah.
But there was a resurgence of ARGs online. A lot of like, you would see like grassroots stuff on Reddit.
Yeah.
Where people were like, oh, I'm doing an ARG. And they do like a ARG for 100 people or something. Yeah, which is like made me happy because I'm like, that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be that.
Yeah.
I basically wanted it to be a new way of storytelling, period.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. And so it had started to be. And then, of course, anytime something's in the public domain, you're going to have people like Ron Watkins, who most people think was one of the people that was Q. Not the only one, but one of them.
Yep.
And he was the guy that, for people that don't know, he's the guy that ran 8chan.
Yep.
Yeah, but those people are going to pick up anything that gets any traction.
Yeah.
In fact, a good example is in the 50s and early 60s, the CIA realized that modern art was something that they could use for propaganda against the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And a lot of conspiracy theorists to this day point the finger at modern artists.
Right.
Because of that.
And it's like not.
And it's not their fault that the CIA picked up on the fact that they created an art form that got popular.
Yeah. Yeah, like, exactly.
People point to, you know, all these people that I think did great art.
Yeah. You
know, like to this day, there are people like that I still admire from that era of art that, you know, I know that weren't working for the CIA.
Right.
But their art got popular while they were living in squalor somewhere in a 3-story walk-up Coldwater flat in New York.
Right.
Eating ravioli from a can, if they were lucky.
And then they got some funding from some institute that was just a shell for fucking...
Yeah.
It wasn't like some guy showed up at their door wearing fucking sunglasses and a suit, said, "Hi, I'm from the CIA. I'd like you to work for us."
Yeah, can you paint us some pictures?
Yeah, like that's not how That's not how it works.
Yeah.
It works way more like what you said, like bad actors, like game jacking shit or, you know, stealing stuff. Like that's how they fucking work.
Well, yeah. I mean, these artists struggle in obscurity.
Yeah.
And poverty and work, like do the work to get this, to just do the work. Like they just do the work. And somebody, if they get lucky and like somebody somewhere notices the work that they're doing and says, wow, nobody else is doing anything like this. And then they do an exhibit and then like some people buy the paintings. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Pollock.
Yeah.
Pollock was a drunk that lived in obscurity and poverty for so long.
Yeah.
Until he decided like to perfect, while he perfected his method, he was a poor motherfucker. Like he was a dirt poor person.
Yeah.
Just like somebody like saw the stuff he was doing with the drip painting and they're like, oh, cool. Let's put him in Time magazine. And then I'm sure the CIA didn't show up at his door, but probably just said, like, we can ride on the back of this.
Yeah, we can use this to create a contrast between us and the Soviets and
Which is what they did.
Yeah. And with like ARGs and shit, you know, it's like
was an art form.
It's an art form, and the people that got like they're desperate for stories. I think is like a lot of what, like desperate for something to fucking that's outside of the shit ass like backbreaking grind of, you know, late stage capitalism in the 21st century.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and as you were saying, like running these things for like 100 people, telling stories for small groups of people, getting away from like the idea of commercializing this sacred act of storytelling, or even doing at scale, which like right, yeah.
And again, I will own that. I'm like, I can get this thing in front of millions of people, and I did, but like at the end of the day, now I back off and I look at that and I'm like, that probably wasn't the right thing to do.
I mean,
and so if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't do it. Like, so right. A good example is like I retooled my approach and came at it a different way with the liminal cycle.
Yeah.
And like, I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to do it different.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do it to scale. I'm going to take, you know, the advice of my late friend, Christopher Hyatt, Alan Miller. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say, do the story that you want to do and don't really care about how many people. Like, write a story that you like, pick a subsect of people that you really want to talk to, that you know you have communication with, that you know that you have simpatico, and tell them a story. Just like you would if you were sitting around a campfire. Tell them a story.
Yeah.
That's a different way of telling a story than standing on the stage and telling it to an audience of 1 million.
Yeah, exactly. I wish people could, like, the people that do get got by the bad shit, it's like, I wish they could realize that what they're really looking for is just like a little bit of imagination and adventure in their fucking lives, and like learn how to tell their own stories, and like, you know, and realize that like, it just takes elbow grease, but all it takes is elbow grease. Like, if you're the type, you know, some people aren't, you know, creative, don't feel like telling a story, but you know, they could still,
There's the most important thing I think that human beings do is tell stories to each other.
I agree.
It's how we acknowledge history. Mm-hmm. It's how we acknowledge rites of passage. Mm-hmm. It's how we acknowledge the movement of time, us moving through time. Mm-hmm. It's how we acknowledge a lot of different things, but we do it through storytelling. One reason is because telling a good story is a mimetic tool.
Yes.
So you remember it. Also, because it touches you on an emotional level. Mm-hmm. A good story touches you on an emotional level, which means it makes a deeper imprint neurologically. Mm-hmm. Which means not only that you're going to remember it, but you're probably going to take action on it.
Yeah.
Like there's different kinds of stories. There's stories that make you want to take action, and there's stories that are like, oh, that made me feel good, you know.
Yeah.
But like, does it make you want to get up and get out of the house and go do something?
Yeah.
That's a real story. And whatever that may be, like go plant a garden, go feed the animals, like whatever it may be, just go do something. It like motivates you to do something.
Yeah.
Be a better person.
Yeah.
You know, those are the stories that I like.
Yeah, man.
The ones that like I like make me sit down and go, oh man, I need to be a better person.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. Is everything right with that?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things about the psychedelic aspect of my life, and there's been a lot of psychedelics in my life, if you haven't noticed, through all the storytelling I've been doing before this, is there's a lot of storytelling that comes from other places.
Yeah.
I think the most powerful stories come from other places. And I think as storytellers, we have a responsibility to be the stewards of those things that come to us from the void.
Yeah.
The work of an artist is to literally coax a new story out of the void into the light, and then to be the steward of that story to other humans.
Yeah.
And that's your mission as an artist. That's your mission. Period.
Well said.
So one of the things we have to do is rethink this mechanism that we've been born into, which is basically there are these organizations which harvest our stories.
Yeah.
And resell them to us because they're incapable of coaxing the stories out of the void. So they get us to do it, and then they either steal or buy the stories from us and take them over and do all kinds of horrible things with them. QAnon, Marvel, Disney,
yeah,
Christianity. It goes on and on and on. But these are basically stories that we coax out of the void.
Yeah.
Using ourselves as the conduits. And so to hand that over to merchants is really a travesty. We should not be doing it as artists. We should not be doing it.
Yeah.
Because it goes against our primary mission, which is to coax the stories out of the void and to hand them to the tribe. Period.
Yeah.
And if the tribe wants to give you a hot chocolate or whatever, for telling us a good story, okay.
Hell yeah.
But like handing it over to a corporation who's going to make lots of money and like peel off a couple pennies for you.
Yeah.
You're selling out your species.
Yeah.
You're a species trader. So you need to stop doing it. I need to stop doing it. I've stopped doing it. And other people, I want to convince people, my story now is let's all stop doing that. Because if we stop giving them the stories, they won't have anything because they're not capable of coaxing them out of the void. They're not capable.
They need them.
They need us.
Yeah.
And they need the stories, but they need us to get them the stories. And so, like, we should stop handing them the stories.
Yeah.
And if we do, they go away.
Yeah, that's the imperative.
I mean, like, Colonel Kurtz in Coppola's Apocalypse Now, which is basically a retelling of Conrad's Heart of Darkness.
Yeah.
Colonel Kurtz says, to the Willard character, which is played by Martin Sheen, he says, "What are you?" And Sheen says, "I'm a soldier." And Kurtz looks at him and says, "You're not a soldier. You're an errand boy sent by grocery clerks to collect a bill." And that's literally the scenario that I'm talking about. It's like the grocery clerks want to use us as errand boys to go get their stories, to collect the bill for them, because they're fucking incapable of doing it, because they don't have a muse. Like all the people I've worked with in the entertainment industry have wanted one thing from me, my stories. And they want my stories so they can go sell them to the highest bidder. Because why don't they just go sell their own stories? Because they don't have any. They don't have any. They don't have lives. They haven't lived the lives that they've generated any stories.
Yeah,
They don't have a spirit big enough to have a muse.
Yeah.
They have no connection to the void. None. When the void doesn't want anything to do with you, dude, you might want to rethink your life. Because it all comes from the void. Have a relationship with the void. And know this, and I'm telling you this as somebody who has experience with this. If you have a relationship with the void and you have stories coming through, those grocery clerks will show up like fleas.
Yeah.
And they will start swarming around you. I have them to this day swarming around me. And I've just learned to say no. Because I thought for a while that like I could work with them and they would help me facilitate the realization of a story. And no, that's not what they want. They know what they want. They want just enough of what you've got, and then they want to back it into a formula that they already have, which means that they've killed your story.
Yeah.
And you've betrayed your story by selling it out. So don't betray your story, don't betray your muse, and don't give these people anything to eat. Period. Starve them out.
Yeah.
There's enough people in the world that if you want to make some kind of living as an artist, you can do it. Unless you get real lucky, you're not going to be superstar. That's the other thing.
Right.
Like I think in Fight Club he says it, and it's really true. It's like we all been raised to think we were going to be movie stars and rock stars.
Yeah.
And we're not.
Yeah, straight up.
But we have all bought into that dream at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in a band when I was young. Let's get a record deal. I was
that shit for almost 10 years.
Yeah. You understand.
Oh yeah.
It's a carrot that's dangled in front of you that one of a million will get the carrot.
I wanted that carrot very badly for a long time.
But I got older and I started hanging around in the music industry in LA, and I don't see any of those people that are happy.
No.
I mean, why do you think so many of them do things like heroin?
Right, exactly.
Killing pain. Because on some level, they know what they're doing. They're selling out their muse. They're betraying the art that came to them. And they had the responsibility of being the shepherd of that art. And they sold it out.